I want to welcome my 20 new subscribers who just came on the channel in the past month. Welcome to the channel. And 20 people might not seem like a lot, but if we can get 20 people to really become introspective and aware of themselves, aware of their own psychological structure, then the impact that 20 people who have become awake to their own power has on the world is immensely powerful. So I don't take the 20 new subscribers that just came on and subscribed to the channel lightly. So I just wanted to welcome you guys. It really only takes one person to become awake to really start the fire. So through your own spiritual awakening, through your own introspection, you can really do a lot to change this world, change society. Okay. I have some sage burning here. I like sage. It smells good. I like the smell of sage. Some people don't, but it has a nice calm and relaxing effect. And today I want to talk about awareness and the power of awareness and the power of harnessing your awareness, the power of using awareness to observe the mind, to examine the mind, to inspect the mind. Because once you start examining your own mind, something magical begins to happen. You'll find that you have an awareness, and that awareness tends to become absorbed in the world of forms. You wake up in the morning, and your awareness, the first thing that it's so absorbed in is thoughts. You start thinking about all the things that you have to do. You wake up, you go about your day, and then your awareness gets absorbed in your work. And this continues throughout the day. Your awareness just keeps going back and forth. And if your awareness is not focused on the physical world, it's focused on your thoughts. And the thoughts that the mind entertains constantly bounce back and forth between desired images, scenes that you desire, and also images of fear or scenes that you do not desire. So your awareness is constantly bouncing back and forth between the scenes that you desire and the scenes that you don't desire. And you can go the whole day with the mind, with the awareness completely absorbed in that imagery, in those scenes. But something interesting happens when you turn that awareness onto itself. In other words, when you take your awareness off the physical world You take your awareness off physical objects. I'm going to show you the cat here. Take your awareness off the physical objects. And you take your awareness off the thoughts. You take your awareness off the images in your mind. But you turn the awareness onto itself. See what happens when you do that. The awareness no longer has anything to become totally absorbed in. See, your awareness is always absorbed in something. It's absorbed in images in the mind. It's absorbed in images that are recreating things that you've experienced with your physical senses in the past. It's absorbed in images of your desires. It's absorbed in images of your fears. So in that way, the awareness is always occupied. It's always taken. It's always absorbed in something. It's always merged with something. But what happens when you shut out the physical senses and you take that awareness off of the images in your mind and you turn that awareness onto itself? I recommend that you try it. I recommend that you try it. Because something happens that you can't describe. You don't really have the words to describe what you begin to feel. The mind is not content with the present moment. And that's why it's always entertaining images of the future. The mind is always going off, it's meandering into the future. It gives you images of the future, of your desires, what could be that's better than now. It gives you images of fear, things that could go wrong. So it's working right now to help you not have to face those things. So this is what happens when your awareness is undisciplined. Because that's what it takes. It takes a lot of discipline to turn the awareness onto itself. To put a mirror in front of the awareness so that it has nothing to look at. It has nothing to become absorbed by. And when you do that, when you turn your own awareness onto itself, there's no desire, there's no fear, there's no time. But there is a center to all of it. And there's no need to understand anything. That's the other thing about the mind. The mind always wants to understand. It wants to bring order to the chaos. So it constantly is in this cycle of trying to understand things. But when you turn the awareness onto itself, there's no longer this desire to understand anything anymore. You are simply here now. You are here right now. The awareness aware of itself. There's nothing that needs to be added. There's no imaginary world that you need to escape into. But the awareness is here now, and it's aware of that. So there's no longer this need to understand anything. And when this happens, when the awareness is aware of itself, the body becomes still. But it becomes so still that you sense an explosiveness in that stillness. And everything starts to take on this stillness. But within that stillness, there's this explosiveness. When you take your awareness, you begin examining the mind. And there's no need to judge the activity of the mind. You see, developing this discipline to be aware of the activity in the mind, the content in the mind, without needing to judge it. But just being there and observing it and examining it and inspecting it without needing to judge what's happening in your mind. Just allow it to be. And the more aware the awareness becomes of itself, all the fears dissolve. All the desires dissolve. And you're here now. The need to understand dissolves. But you're here now. And that's the great irony of manifestation. When you're truly present, you get a taste of infinity. You get a taste of eternal life. And when you feel like you've touched infinity and you've touched eternal life, that's everything you've ever needed. To be here now, that's everything you've ever needed. And then you'll watch. Because you reside in a state of feeling, of knowing that you have everything that you've ever needed, then you'll begin to watch beautiful things emerge. So I recommend you take up this practice of taking the awareness, shutting it out of the physical world, and once you're in the mind, taking it off of the images and turn it onto itself. So there's nothing for it to become absorbed in. And see what happens. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until next time.